All right, I think we are live here talking about the slate on Draftkings today for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. We got a big, it's not really a big race. It's the Daytona Road Course. It's a small race, not a lot of laps. There's not going to be a ton of Dominator points. Make sure to leave that like this video, subscribe if you're new, do all that. It really helps me out. I know you just want to hear plays. Ask any questions if you have any questions about the slate. I'll answer them for you. I'm glad that's kind of what I'm here for, so be sure to ask plenty of questions. We'll get into what I think we need to expect from drivers here. We'll start with AJ Allmendinger. He's the highest, most expensive driver here at $10,900. To pay off his salary, AJ Allmendinger needs 54.5 points, which is a win, and to lead some laps. Do I think that is possible? Yes. He's AJ Allmendinger. He is one of the best road course drivers in NASCAR. We saw him do really well last year. Won the Charlotte Roval last year, and was always in contention for some of the other tracks. So, for some of the other road courses. So, he's definitely be a great play. He has the third best average finish at road courses and the best average position at road courses as well. That's going to be a really good spot to look for AJ Allmendinger. He's definitely one of the guys that can lead a ton of laps. I'm going to want to pay up for him or Cindric today for sure. Austin Cindric starts second. He's $10,700. To pay off his salary, he needs to win and lead some laps as well. He can definitely do that for starting second. He has the most laps led in the field at road courses and the most laps, or for fast laps at road courses as well. Won this race a year ago. Fourth best average finish at road courses in the field, second best average position. And he had the best average position in this race a year ago as well. So Austin Cindric is definitely one of my favorite plays here. I love both these guys as dominators here. I'm pretty sure more than likely I'd expect one of these two to win, and then if I was to pick a third guy, it'd probably be Gragson. So those are definitely the guys that I want to get to the most on the slate as dominators. Justin Allgire starts 25th. He is the fourth best odds in this race. He has the sixth best average finish at road courses and the fourth best average position at road courses. He's definitely led laps here. For Allgire to pay off his salary, he needs a top 8. I think that's very possible for him. He should be able to get top 8. He's a top 8 driver in this series, and is a top 8 driver at road courses. So I like Justin Allgire as definitely someone who should be able to pay off their salary. Noah Gragson, he starts 26th. He's $10,300. To pay off his salary, he needs a top 9. As long as he's in crash, I think that's kind of guaranteed today, honestly. He has the best average finish at road courses and the third best average position at road courses. Finished third here a year ago. I really like Gragson here. He is definitely someone that I want to get into lineups. He's probably my favorite out of these three guys starting in the back in a row. Allgire, Gragson, Haley. I prefer Gragson to all of them. He's definitely someone I like a lot. Justin Haley only needs a top 11, though, to pay off his salary. Now, Justin Haley had a bad race here last year, ended up getting crashed, which, just what are you going to do about that? But he's been a pretty solid road course driver in the past, 11th best average position at road courses. I think he's definitely a step behind Gragson and Allgire here, but Justin Haley is definitely someone that I do like. He's someone that I want to get into some lineups here today, so I'm definitely going to get some of him. Daniel Hamrick, I don't understand his pricing. To pay off his salary, Daniel Hamrick needs to win or lead laps and hold his position. Daniel Hamrick doesn't really lead laps that often. He does have 11 at road courses over the last 2 years, but still, I just don't see it happening here. This is just not a spot I want to get to. I'm probably fading him. He should not be $9,700. It's way too expensive for him. I'm not going to be paying for him. Andy Lally starts 24th. He's $9,400. To pay off his salary, Andy Lally needs a top 10. Andy Lally raced 2 road course races a year ago, finished 5th in both of them. So I like him a lot. Definitely someone who can move up the field, has a lot of place differential upside. I definitely want to get exposure to Andy Lally today. Definitely someone I really like a lot. Harrison Burton is kind of going to be like a low-owned dominator play. Much less likely to lead laps. He has 0 laps led at road courses, but he does have the 8th best finish at this track. He had the 3rd best average position at this track a year ago. Was doing really well, and the 7th best average position at road courses, which is 12 spots higher than his average finish. So that just shows you if he's had some bad luck at these road course races. He's definitely not someone that I really expect to be a top tier play here, but definitely someone who has some upside with dominators. At $9,200 to pay off that salary, he needs to win or lead laps and hold his position. It can happen. I think it's a lot more likely than Daniel Hamrick doing it, but Harrison Burton is still someone I don't want to get. Brandon Jones is probably as close this thing to a lock on the slate as there is. He starts 39th, finished 2nd in this race a year ago, has the 12th best average finish at road courses, 15th best average position at road courses. Maybe not the best road racer overall, but starting 39th, he's just... If you know the Cup Series for this week, Alex Bowman's kind of the same thing. Starts 36 and he's 9K. They're the same play. They're both fantastic plays. I don't see why you would want to go away from them. Brandon Jones is definitely someone I want to get exposure to and someone I really, really like. Alex LeBay starts 36. He's $8,800 to pay off that salary. Oh, I didn't even mention that. Brandon Jones, to pay off his salary, needs a top 18. He's a top 10 car, top 10 driver every single week, so that should definitely happen. Alex LeBay needs a top 17 to pay off his salary. Alex LeBay is a very good road course driver. Didn't have the best race a year ago at this track, but he does have the 9th best average finish at road courses and the 6th best average position at road courses. I think in this range you have Brandon Jones, Michael Annett, probably Buford, Miguel Paluto are going to get a ton of ownership, and then Alex LeBay probably won't. So I do like LeBay a lot. Who do you like better as a tournament play, Annett or LeBay? I think I like LeBay just because I think his ownership is going to be lower than Annett. Speaking of Michael Annett, though, he is also a very good play. I think both these guys are great plays. I prefer LeBay a little bit just because I think the ownership is a little bit less, and he starts a little bit farther back. But Annett has the 7th best average finish at road courses, only the 14th best average position, though, which is not fantastic. But Annett has proved to be a very consistent driver. I don't have a problem playing Michael Annett. Both of them are great cash plays, too. So is Brandon Jones. All three of those guys just look really, really good. Jay Buford's $8,500. He's driving for this new Big Machine racing team. Oh, and to pay off Michael Annett's salary, he needs a top 14. He should be able to do that. Jay Buford, to pay off his salary, needs a top 14. That one's a little bit more questionable because this is a new team. Not really 100% sure how fast they're going to be. We're going to see. Buford is a very good road course driver. 10th best average finish at road courses, 18th best average position. He's definitely only going to be a tournament play. I don't want to touch him in cash games, but Jay Buford is definitely still somebody that I like. Jeremy Clements is $8,400. He starts 18th. He has the 7th best average finish at road courses and the 9th best average position at road courses. Thing here of Clements is he's just pancaked in with a bunch of other place differential guys. He's going to be low owned. No one's going to play him. He needs a top 10 to pay it off, which is very possible. He is a very good road course driver. He has his only career win is at Road America. So I do think this is an interesting play, but it's just hard to want to get to him when all around him it's just guys starting in the 30s. But I think at the same time, if you want to play Jeremy Clements in tournaments, I think that is a fine idea. Definitely would not touch down a cash. Miguel Paluto is probably my favorite play in this range here. Starts 35th. He is driving the Junior Motorsports car. If you don't know, Miguel Paluto is a former Truck Series driver who always had success on the road courses. He knows what he's doing. He's in one of the fastest cars in the field. He starts 35th. This should be a great play. To pay off that salary, he needs a top 18. That car is a top 10 car, so he should definitely be able to get that. That's definitely something that I like a lot. Riley Herbst, last night was a chalk. Today he's going to be low owned. He starts 16th. And Riley Herbst, contrary to what his average finish says, is actually a really good road course driver. He has the 8th best average position at road courses, but the 17th best average finish. So he's definitely run into some bad luck. And we've seen him run inside the top 5, competing for top 5s in these road course races in the past. So that is definitely someone that I'd like to get to as a tournament play only. He needs a top 9 to pay off that salary, and he's definitely very capable of doing that. So Riley Herbst is definitely going to be someone I am interested in. Ryan Sieg is $7,900. He starts 27th today. To pay off that salary, he needs a top 15. And Ryan Sieg is definitely capable of that. He has the 15th best average finish at road courses, 17th best average position at road courses. So, to be honest, I don't think he's as good of a play as some of the other guys that are starting far back, but he's not going to get as much ownership, so that's going to be an ownership play for sure. Mike Snyder, I'm kind of off, to be honest. He needs a top 6 to pay off that salary, which is definitely capable. I mean, he's been a pretty solid road course driver, 14th best average finish and 12th best average position. And he's in Richard Childress Racing Equipment. It's just so hard to want to pay for that. Even if he does pay off his salary, it's hard to see him outscoring some of these guys starting back. So Mike Snyder is just probably not someone I want a ton of exposure to. I will have a little bit of him, but it's still not going to be an absolute ton. Preston Parsons starts 23rd. He's driving for DGM Racing today. And a number 91. He's either 91 or 92. One of those numbers. I mean, same team, so it doesn't really matter. Preston Parsons needs a top 14 to pay off that salary. Definitely possible. He's done well on the road course before. Only the 18th best average finish, which is not great, but the 13th best average position is pretty solid. That does show that he is doing some pretty good things in that car. Appreciate the great information. Of course, that's what I'm here for. And what's up from Northern Virginia? What's up, Ryan? I know you from Twitter. Let's go, Virginia, I guess. I mean, it's where I go to college, but I don't live there, so. Brandon Brown, $7,500, starts 7th. He has a 20th best average finish at road courses and a 16th best average position. I'm not interested here. Brandon Brown needs a top 6 to pay off his salary. I don't want to bank on that at all. I don't think that's the spot I want to get to at all. Josh Williams starts 22nd. He has the 23rd best average finish at road courses, 21st best average position. I don't really want to go there that much. To pay off his salary, Josh Williams needs a top 14. That seems unlikely to me. Ryan Vargas, sponsored by Alvin Kamara today. Alvin Kamara into NASCAR. If you guys don't follow Alvin Kamara on Twitter, it is like the funniest follow for NASCAR. dude just tweets some interesting things. It's a fun follow. You should do that. Don't even follow me. Just follow Alvin Kamara. You'll have a good time. But now he's sponsoring a car, which is awesome, I think. He has apparently like an orange juice brand or something. He's like an orange juice brand in New Orleans, and he's sponsoring Ryan Vargas's car today. It's awesome. Vargas he needs to pay off the salary. He needs a top 10. I'm not banking on that. He did have a top 10 run at the Roval last year. He does have the 13th best average finish at road course in the field, but I don't think I want to pay for that. Even if he does pay off that salary, I still don't think that's beating some of these other guys starting in the back, like Greg Galding. Greg Galding is actually a really good road course driver, contrary to what that stat says right there. Last year at the Charlotte Roval, he was having a really good run, and then something happened. I forgot exactly what happened, but his car either broke down, or he got a penalty, or he got in an accident, and he was inside the top 10 when that happened. So that really sucked. But Greg Galding is a very good road course driver. He only needs a top 19 to pay off that salary. That seems like someone that's very, very viable here. So that's definitely be someone I want to get into lineups. Landon Castle, I'm not going to play him starting 14th. He needs a top 11 in that JD Motorsports car. It's possible. Landon Castle's talented, but at the same time, I don't think that upside is going to hit. I don't think he's going to be able to hit that. It feels a lot less likely. There's no way I'm paying $6,500 for Jeffrey Earnhardt ever. I don't really care where he's starting from. He needs a top 24 to pay off that salary. It's possible, but that's like his ceiling. His ceiling is not a top 20 car like you have some of these other guys starting in the 30s. So I don't really want to play him at all. I think he's going to get ownership because he does start so far back, but I'd rather just pay down a few hundred more for Ware. Tommy Joe Martin starts 20th. To pay off that salary, he needs a top 15. I'm not going to bank on a top 15 from Tommy Joe Martins, even though he did have a good run here last year, had a 12th best finish in the field. He has a 25th best average finish overall at road courses. That's not something that I really want to bank on for this race. So Tommy Joe Martins is not going to be someone that I want to get a lot of. Brett Moffitt starts on the pole. He needs a top 7 without leading laps to pay off that salary, which is very possible. But at the same time, again, he's not really hitting any sort of ceiling at that point. And I don't think Brett Moffitt's talented enough to hang up there, but I don't think his equipment's good enough. So at $6,300, I'm probably just going to fade. Cody Ware starts 38th. This is going to be a guy that's chalky and a guy that I like. So Cody Ware last year in the Roval got top 10. The Charlotte Roval got a top 10. Now I don't think that's going to happen again, but he definitely is in the top 20 equipment. To pay off that salary, he only needs a top 24, and he should definitely get a top 20 today, assuming he doesn't crash. So Cody Ware is definitely going to be someone that I really like today. I expect him to get ownership, but I don't really care. He's someone I really want to play, and I just don't want to play Jeffrey Earnhardt, any kind of someone in this range, and Cody Ware is definitely going to be the guy to get to. Jeb Burton starts too high up. Pay off that salary, he needs a top 8. It can happen, but again, it's the same thing as Brett Moffitt. That ceiling is very much capped there if he's finishing top 8. Kyle Weatherman starts 11th. Jesse Little starts 13th. Not going to be interested in these two. Weatherman needs a top 12. Little needs a top 13. Can it happen? Yes. Is it likely? No. Is that really a ceiling there? Not really. There's not really that much of a ceiling for these guys. These are definitely guys that, yeah, they can hit that value. They can hit value for sure, but at the same time, I don't think their upside is that high. Colby Howard starts 32nd. He's driving for JD Motorsports. This one's interesting, but I just think there's some other value in the 5K range that just makes me not really want to get to Colby Howard. He needs a top 22 to pay off that salary. Definitely possible for him. He can definitely get up there in a decent enough car to do it, but I just think there's some other value that I'm going to talk about that we just don't even really need to get to Colby Howard. You can play him, though. I might have some exposure to him. I'm not 100% on that yet, but he's just not one of my top plays. Stephen Light is interesting. I think Stephen Light will probably get some ownership, but I'm not as high on him. He needs a top 24 to pay off that salary. I don't know if he's going to get top 24. He should get top 30 for sure. That's going to happen. A top 30 will happen for Stephen Light. I definitely see that, but he's going to need some wrecks to not happen for him to really get the top 24 here. If you want to play him in tournaments, he's fine. I probably want to go there in cash. David Starr, I know he starts dead last, so I'm not going to play him. He needs to pay off his salary. A top 27. I don't have faith that David Starr is going to get a top 27, to be honest. Great vid, bro. Thanks, bro. Timmy Hill starts 17th. He just starts too high. Timmy Hill to pay off that salary needs a top 17. And his equipment in the Xfinity Series is not top 17 good, so I don't really want to play him. Bailey Curry starts 31st. To pay off his salary, he needs a top 19. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he can get a top 19, but again, that sort of also, again, just kind of feels like his ceiling. I just don't feel like his ceiling's that high. I don't think he has top 15 upside. He has top 20 upside for sure, and that will pay off his salary. So he's okay if you want to get there, but I still at the same time don't really love it. Joe Graf Jr., Matt Mills start way too high, and then Natalie Decker is just trash. So Ty Gibbs and Chris Wright, these are the two super values on this slate. I don't understand why Ty Gibbs is $4,700. He's had success literally everywhere he's been in the Xfinity or in his career. This is his first Xfinity Series start, and he's driving for Joe Gibbs Racing today in the number 54 car, which that's the car that we've seen Kyle Busch win a ton of races in. We've seen Denny Hamlin racing, some other drivers, Ty Dillon did last week. That's a fast race car, and at $4,700, he needs a top 17 to pay off his salary. I'm sorry. Ty Gibbs, if he's really that talented and that good of equipment, should get a top 17 this race. And, I mean, he could easily get a top 10, and it would not be that surprise. Chris Wright's kind of the same thing, although I would expect more from Gibbs just because he's in a better car. Chris Wright only needs a top 19. The Sam Hunt racing car is not that bad. That's the number 26. We saw guys like Allgire drive last year. They always seem to have success as a top 20 car, and that's what Chris Wright needs to do here. And at $4,600, he should be able to do that. Yeah, I love Wright today. Yeah, Wright's great. And he's not going to be as high owned as Ty Gibbs either, so that's another thing to really like about him. Is neither of them are going to be high. He's not going to be high owned. Ty Gibbs will. So both those guys are really good. But that's pretty much all I got to go through on that. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know, because I am very much happy to answer them for you. Let me see if we got any news. Let's go see who Pocker's picked to win this race today, if he even has, yeah. Because I know that's what we like to do pretty much every single time we have one of these races. Bob Pockrass on Twitter. AJ Allmendinger for the win today. Shocker. Allmendinger, Cindric, Rags, and Hamrick Lally. Upset contender, LeBay. Okay, that's the first time I've actually agreed with Bob Pockrass about something. What highest starting spot would you go in cash? Is Allgire cash play? Yeah, Allgire's definitely in play for cash here, for sure. Cindric, see, I would consider it. Usually, I would want to go to either Cindric or Allmendinger, probably Cindric over that. But with all the guys starting in the back today, I don't think you need to. But yeah, Justin Allgire, definitely a cash play. All three of those guys, Allgire, Grags, and Haley, are a cash play. Definitely in play. You mentioned lighter star getting sponsorships. Did you ever get it? I think they did, but to be honest, I'm not 100% on that, and I also don't care because Ty Gibbs and Chris Wright are so much better plays than them. Even if they do have sponsorship, that does not matter to me. I can try to find it here though. Here, I'm on it. Stephen Light does not have sponsorship. David Starr is not. Okay, yeah, no, they don't even have sponsorship. Not that I see on Twitter here. I can go Google MBM Racing real quick, see if I can find it. But again, I'm not that interested just because Ty Gibbs and Chris Wright start so far back, or are so cheap that they're just such better plays. The number 66, that's Timio. Timio with sponsorship. Oh, actually, yeah, okay, the 13 Star is sponsored by Whataburger today. And, okay, they do both have sponsors. Pockrass is tweaking, bro. Okay, they both have sponsors. So they're both going to be running this race, but still at the same... I mean, you can play them if you want, but at the same time, I'm still not that huge on them. Who would you consider your main dominator for core? Cindric is probably my main guy. I think he's more likely to lead laps. I just think he's the favorite to win this race. He starts second, but so that would be that would be the guy I think probably leads the most laps here. But at the same time, man, I mean, AJ Allmendinger. So I read this today. That made me think. I didn't think of it this way, but this was an interesting thing to hear, or to read. AJ Allmendinger has led 77 laps in the last 2 years of road courses. Pretty much all of them coming last year. But AJ Allmendinger always starts in the very, very back, like dead last. That's what he was starting last year. So he had to drive all the way up through the field before he could lead some laps. Austin Cindric was always starting at the front. So AJ Allmendinger may actually be, this is the first time we're seeing Allmendinger start in the front of the field, and this could actually be the time where he just pops off. That's just how I see it. I mean, he has a very fast car. He's a very good road course driver, so I think I'm going to go more Allmendinger and Cindric in tournaments, but if you were playing a Dominator in cash, which you can, I don't think you need to, but you can, Cindric would probably be the guy. Any more questions? David Starr could also run some cup races for MBM Motorsports. No one wants to see that, man. Just no one does. Who cares? That number 13 car doesn't look cool out there, though. I will say that. MBM Motors or Whataburger. I haven't had a Whataburger in years. All right. Well, I'm not getting any more questions in the next minute or two. I'm probably gonna head out. I know this is a quick one, but I mean, I've said everything that needs to be said. So If you don't have any more questions, who's your chalk fade today? So I expect Allgire Greg's going to be chalk. I really like them. I don't think Haley's going to be that chalky. Brandon Jones, got to play him. Annette, I think, is good chalk. Miguel Paluto, I think, is great chalk. Man, it's hard, man. I actually, and I don't usually love the chalk. I'm always the guy who's trying to find ways to get off of it. But I really like it. If I had to get off one, maybe Allgire. I mean, he's not as great at road courses as as everyone else perceives. He's a very good road course driver, but he's not like winning them all the time. Like, he won a road course race like 3 years ago, and everyone calls him like the best road course driver in the field, and that's just not true. So that would probably be it. And then aside from him, I guess Michael Annett, just because it's Michael Annett. Like, I don't know, chalk Michael Annett does not sound great. And either just chalk Brandon Jones, but chalk Brandon Jones starts 39, so there's a difference. So I'd say probably Justin Allgaier would be my chalk fade, but I still want to play him, man. I mean, he's still a very good driver starting in the back, and he's not too expensive. If he was like 11,000 to be a different story, but he only needs a top 8, and he should be able to do that. It's tough because it all comes down to which one of these place differential guys wrecks, and whichever one wrecks isn't going to be a good play. But the rest of them, if they don't crash, they should all be great. I think the one that might not get enough ownership today is Andy Lally, because he's kind of sandwiched in here with all the 30s guys, but like Andy Lally, man, I mean, shoot, he can win this whole thing. Looking forward to tonight. Nice video. Thank you. Also, fave guy to start who is 10 to 20 starting spot. Off the top of my head, I'd say Riley Herbst, but let me make sure that for sure. Riley Herbst, I do like a lot. Yeah, Riley Herbst starting 16th. I do like a lot here. I mean, he's a very good road course driver, and I just think he's going to go really under-owned. Let me make sure there's anyone else. I don't think. I mean, aside from Ty Gibbs and Chris Wright would be my real answer for that. But I mean, they're kind of chalky. I think they're just going to be. Everyone's going to play them anyway. But yeah, Riley Herbst would probably be the guy then. Everyone's going to play PD guys or AJ or Cindric. Yep, they are, and I probably will too, to be honest, because I just find it hard. I really have a hard time finding that these guys that are starting in the middle are going to do good, aside from like Riley Herbst. Like, I don't think like Brandon Brown, Landon Castle, like Leatherman Little, like these guys that are starting in the middle are just not good. Like, it's one thing if you have like guys that are actually good and can compete for top 5s on every once in a while, starting in the middle, and that's what Riley Herbst is, and that's why I'm interested in there. But the rest of those guys just aren't, man. But yeah, so Ty Gibbs, Chris Wright, Riley Herbst, those would be my mid-range guys in the starting range to go with. Oh, crap. You know what sucks? This race, last week, okay, I don't know if any of you watched the Charlotte Roval in the rain last year, but that was like the best race I've literally ever watched. I enjoyed that race so much. And then, of course, they're in Daytona last week and they're in Daytona this week. What happens last week? Rain. The Cup Series race gets postponed for, like 5-6 hours? And then they come this week where they can run in the rain because they'll do it at the road courses. No rain. It just has to be like that, man. It just always has to be something. Just always has to be something. Let's see what Pocker's saying. Curry in 74 car. That car seems to always show up for road courses. You playing any? See, yeah, I know he does. That car does always do well. It's a car Greg Galding drove a year ago. The problem is, like, I do like Bailey Curry. I just like Ty Gibbs and Chris Wright more, and they're just the same price. And I mean, I don't want to get. I'm probably not going to do both Wright and Gibbs in a lineup to get in lineups together. I'll probably only do one, and then I don't want to throw Bailey Curry in there as well because then you just have so much salary left over. I want to get some of these guys in the middle. I don't want to just play top and bottom drivers. So I do like Bailey Curry, but like out of these 3 super cheap plays, he's like 3rd for me. Thanks for the great info. Yes, sir. Any last minute questions? If I don't get any in a minute or two, I will be heading out. Gonna go watch some college basketball. A lot of great college games today, man. Excited for the tournament. Best sporting event in sports. Thank you for taking the time to answer questions just fine today. Yes, sir. Thanks for finding me today, man. I mean, I love making these videos, just continuing to make lineups, or continue to make videos, continue to grow this YouTube channel. So thanks for sticking around. What contest do you play in DFS? I mainly play 20 maxes. That's kind of my go-to. Every once in a while I'll do a 150, but for the most part it's a 20 max. And then I do play some like single entries. I don't usually play cash too much. Every once, if it's a slate, there'll be slates where I'm like, okay, this is a great cash day, and I'll play cash. But for the most part, I don't really play it that much. I used to. It just kind of gets frustrating when everybody has the same freaking lineup, and it pisses me off. So I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, 150 every once in a while. Like I did 150 for Daytona 500 last week. Didn't do well, but for the most part, it's 20 max. That's my favorite. You don't get a lot of questions because you explain every driver so well. Well, I guess that's good to hear, but then the video doesn't last as long. We can't get as many viewers, so maybe I should just shut up and not just sit here silent and let you guys ask and then I'll answer. I could do that. That'd be interesting. I'd get bored sitting here not being able to talk, though. I also don't get a lot of questions because there's 13 people in here. That's the other part of this. Gotta keep growing, man. Gotta keep growing. Alright, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for me. I think I'm going to head out. You can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter is @NateLane_. I'm always talking about sports over there. You can always just come ask me a question. I'll answer some questions yesterday on Twitter from new followers. So I'm always happy to answer questions over there. So come check me out over there. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, my Cup live stream will be at 12. Yeah, it was supposed to be at 12 today. Then it got pushed to 12:30, and then it got pushed to 12:45. But tomorrow will actually be at 12 because I won't have anything going on before it. So, yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow, live stream for the Cup Series race. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Saturday. Make some money. That's all that we're trying to do. That was an awful ending. Awful.